What would you do if the secret to staying young isn't in your medicine cabinet? It's not in some expensive supplement, and it's definitely not being sold by a celebrity on Instagram? What if the real anti-aging breakthrough has been living inside you this whole time, working for free, asking for nothing but a little fiber in return? Here's the thing that blew my mind when I stumbled across this research. We've been looking at aging all wrong. We think of our bodies as solo machines that slowly break down. But the truth is, we're not alone in here. We're walking ecosystems. And the bacteria in your gut? They might be the most loyal anti-aging partners you never knew you had. In fact, new research shows that older people with higher levels of a specific compound produced by gut bacteria have significantly fewer aging immune cells. And the thing is, this isn't about taking a pill or following some restrictive diet. This is about feeding the right allies. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share changes everything we thought we knew about aging, immunity, and why the path to longevity literally runs through your stomach. Just recently, I was reading yet another study on longevity, and I kept seeing the same phrase pop up: gut microbiome. Honestly, I was getting tired of it. It felt like everything in health science was being blamed on or credited to gut bacteria. But then I came across something that stopped me cold. Researchers found that when they took gut bacteria from younger mice and transplanted them into older mice, the older mice's immune systems started acting younger. Not a little younger, significantly younger. Their inflammatory markers dropped. Their senescent cells decreased. It was like they'd been given a biological reboot. And the compound responsible? Butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that your gut bacteria produce when you eat fiber. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another compound, another supplement to buy. But hold on, because this story gets better. Butyrate isn't something you need to order online. It's something your body is designed to make, if you give it the right raw materials. And when I say designed, I mean millions of years of evolution have fine-tuned this relationship between you and your microscopic partners. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your body as you age. Your immune system has these cells called T cells. They're like your body's security team, patrolling for threats, fighting infections, keeping you safe. But here's the problem. As you get older, more and more of these T cells become senescent. Think of senescent cells as retired security guards who refuse to leave the building. They don't do their job anymore, but they stick around and cause trouble. They release inflammatory compounds, a cocktail of chemicals scientists call the SASP, the senescence-associated secretory phenotype. I know, terrible name, but what it does is even worse. These senescent T cells create constant, low-grade inflammation throughout your body. This is what researchers call inflammaging. Chronic inflammation that drives almost every age-related disease you can think of. Heart disease, arthritis, cognitive decline, even increased cancer risk. And here's the truly frustrating part. This overactive, inflamed immune system isn't even good at its original job anymore. Older adults with more senescent T cells are more vulnerable to infections. That's why COVID hit older populations so much harder. Their immune systems were in this weird state of being both overactive and underperforming at the same time. But before I explain how butyrate changes all of this, we need to talk about something most people completely miss. And this is where everything clicks into place. You ready? Your gut bacteria aren't passengers. They're not freeloaders. They're co-pilots. We've been in partnership with these microorganisms for so long that we can't actually survive without them. They produce vitamins we can't make on our own. They train our immune systems. They communicate with our brains. And yes, they create compounds that fight aging. Butyrate is one of those compounds. When you eat fibrous foods, certain bacteria in your gut ferment that fiber and produce butyrate as a byproduct. Some of that butyrate feeds the cells lining your intestinal wall. Some of it signals your genes to behave differently. And some of it enters your bloodstream and travels throughout your body, including to your immune system. Now here's where the recent research gets really interesting. Scientists took blood samples from 40 healthy people, over 60 and 40 people between 18 and 37. First discovery, older people have significantly less butyrate in their blood than younger people. This had never been documented before. Second discovery, in the older group, people with more butyrate in their blood had fewer senescent T cells. The correlation was clear. More butyrate, less immune aging. But correlation isn't causation, right? So the researchers took it further. They took T cells that had been deliberately made senescent in the lab and exposed them to butyrate. The results? The cells started producing significantly less IL-6, one of the most problematic inflammatory compounds in the SASP. Butyrate didn't reverse senescence completely. The cells didn't become young again, but it changed how they behaved. It made them less harmful, less inflammatory. Scientists call this a xenomorphic effect. It's like turning down the volume on aging cells so they don't drag everything else down with them. And here's something I found fascinating. This worked better on younger cells than older ones, which tells us something important. This isn't just about fixing damage after it's done. It's about prevention, about maintaining a healthy ecosystem before things go wrong. The researchers also saw decreases in DNA damage markers, reductions in inflammation pathways, and fewer destructive oxygen molecules in certain immune cells. Then came the mouse experiment I mentioned earlier. Older mice were given fecal transplants from younger mice, specifically chosen because they were rich in butyrate-producing bacteria. The treated mice showed significantly fewer senescent immune cells and lower inflammatory markers. Their immune systems were acting measurably younger. And this wasn't a pharmaceutical intervention. This was just changing which bacteria were in their gut. Let me pause here and make sure we're clear on what this actually means for you. We're not talking about some distant theoretical science. We're talking about a mechanism that's operating in your body right now. The question is, are you supporting it or starving it? Because here's what most people don't realize. Modern diets are absolutely terrible for butyrate production. We eat processed foods, low-fiber meals, refined grains, and our gut bacteria are struggling. They literally don't have the raw materials they need to make butyrate. It's like hiring a construction crew and then not giving them any lumber. You can't blame them when nothing gets built. So what do you actually do with this information? Here's what I want you to focus on. First, increase your fiber intake from whole food sources. We're talking about vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes. The bacteria that produce butyrate thrive on fermentable fiber. Think broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, berries, oats, beans, lentils. You don't need to eat some weird restrictive diet. You just need to make sure these foods show up regularly. Second, consider fermented foods. Things like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and yogurt introduce beneficial bacteria and feed the ones you already have. Third, avoid unnecessary antibiotics when possible. I'm not saying never take them. Obviously, follow your doctor's advice. But recognize that antibiotics are like a forest fire for your gut. They wipe out everything, good and bad. If you do need them, think about how to rebuild afterward. Fourth, sleep and stress matter more than you think. Your gut bacteria are affected by your circadian rhythm and stress hormones. When you're chronically stressed or sleep deprived, your microbiome suffers. And fifth, move your body. Exercise has been shown to increase microbial diversity and support beneficial bacteria. These aren't 5 separate interventions. They're all part of the same ecosystem-supporting lifestyle. The bottom line is this: you're not alone in your body. You're a walking ecosystem. And the bacteria in your gut are some of your most powerful allies in the fight against aging. When you eat fiber-rich foods, you're not just feeding yourself. You're feeding an entire community that's working around the clock to keep you healthy, reduce inflammation, and maintain a younger immune system. The path to your health has always gone through your stomach. We're just now understanding exactly why. This isn't about perfection. It's about small, consistent choices that honor the partnership between you and the trillions of organisms that call your body home. And here's the beautiful part. They're ready to work for you. They just need you to hold up your end of the deal. If you found this helpful, I've got more eye-opening research on longevity compounds that most people have never heard of. Click the video that just appeared on your screen to discover the next piece of the healthy aging puzzle. Thank you for spending your time here. I'm grateful you're on this journey with me. Wishing you practical progress and good health.